Well, good morning, Houghton, and thank you, President Lewis, and trustees and faculty and staff and students and alumni, and indeed anyone who has driven along New York Highway 19. Thank you all. And President and Mrs. Lewis and Whitley, Gina and I love you, and we cherish our friendship with you, along with Provost Davies and Mrs. Davies. Extraordinary people live and work at Houghton, and we are grateful to each one of you. And what an undeserved surprise to receive this honorary degree. And Paul, I'll have to ask you, do you realize that we are now Dr. Mills and Dr. Westmoreland? So henceforth, Paul, I don't know about you, but henceforth I'm going to insist that people call me Doctor, and especially my wife and daughter Riley, who are in the audience today and are also doctors, and I am the only doctor in our family. Well, the clock is ticking on this promised 10-minute speech, and so let's get to it. FYI, I am going to plagiarize myself today, offering part of an old speech, because a few years ago I had to do a similar thing at Sanford, because we discovered very late in the game that the number of graduates for fall graduation was too large to get everyone in the auditorium for one ceremony, so we had to schedule back-to-back ceremonies and get everything wrapped up, because the auditorium was already under contract for a performance of the Nutcracker that afternoon. We were world-class planners at Sanford. And so I had to give the commencement speeches for both ceremonies, not because anyone wanted to hear me, but because I'm a short guy who can deliver a short speech. So here it is, or at least most of it. As a survivor of more than 100 commencement speeches, several given myself, I can summarize very quickly most of what I remember about them. Not very much. Graduates don't attend commencement ceremonies to pay attention to the speaker, and parents and families don't arrive waiting to hear what the speaker might say. And faculty members stopped listening to commencement speeches during the Bush administration. That's the first Bush administration. So with the lowest of low expectations for the impact of this particular speech, here it is, and it really is 2 words along with some filler. Here are the 2 words: respect everyone. That's it. I should sit down right now. That's the summary of much of what I've learned across the arc of more than 60 years. Respect everyone. They are 2 words that mean the difference between harmony and chaos, and trust and fear, and success and failure, and happiness and despair, and helpfulness and obstructionism. You've earned a degree, and we're recognizing and celebrating that today because it's a big deal. And you spent, or someone who loves you has spent, a lot of money, and you've invested an extraordinary amount of time in attaining the degree. And we are justifiably proud, and we believe that you are going to put the degree to good use, and that the world will be better for all the things that you will do. But if you haven't learned to respect everyone, our delivery of an education will have been substandard, and we will have failed you. Respect everyone. Respect the person at the store who puts your groceries in a bag. Respect the drivers of the other 3 cars at a 4-way stop. Respect the employee in the call center on the other end of the line reading from a script when you're trying to get information about your account. Respect the person who argues with you about your politics. Respect the food service worker in the drive-thru window who gets the wrong order and puts mayonnaise on your hamburger. Respect the coworker who otherwise grates on your nerves. Respect the person who hates your religious convictions. Respect the person who hates you. If you've earned a doctoral degree today like me, respect the person with a master's degree. If you've earned a master's degree, respect the baccalaureate. If you've earned a bachelor's degree, respect the high school degree and the GED and the person with no degree at all. Respect the preacher and the protester. Respect the preschooler and the ancient man who should probably have his car keys taken away from him. Respect the professor and the prostitute, because God made them all and God loves them all, and it is the very least that we can do to respect them all. So respect everyone. The lesson is simple and profound, and it may have more to do with your success and your happiness and your substance than anything that you've spent thousands of dollars to receive here. Remember the words always, but especially in fractured moments when others are not respecting you, when you are under assault, and when you are weary, and when all you want to do is lash out and return slight for slight, insult for insult, and hurt for hurt. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God. In this important moment in your life and in all the less significant moments, remember those words. Respect everyone, and practice them and live them and start again when you fail, and then marvel at the difference they will make in your life and the lives of those around you. And it will be challenging and heart-wrenching and inspirational and difficult and daunting and hopeful. And at the end of your life, your regrets will be fewer than they might otherwise have been. End of speech. Well, that was the end of that speech, but it's not the end of your speech. Needless to say, that day the crowd went wild. It went as wild as a bunch of sedate people are likely to go wild, which essentially meant that I received some polite applause. And then afterwards, our marketing people did what marketing people do, which is to post all the commencement stuff on social media, including my speech. And because the speech was so short and because people were surprised that a college president had even a hint of a sense of humor, a lot of people watched the video. Well, 7 or 8 people watched it, which counts as viral in my world. And then some weird things started to happen. A few days later, a lady stopped me in the Atlanta airport, her husband soundlessly beside her, and she said, you're the respect person. She said, I saw the video and I made him watch it. And she pointed to her husband, and he nodded with sort of vague and unconvincing recollection, as I recall. And I was running late, but because I was the respect person, I smiled and I accepted the commentary before rushing away. And then the very next week, I was back in the Atlanta airport again making connections. And I dropped by the men's room and I was washing my hands when I became aware that a person was standing to my left, just a little too close, just standing there. And I didn't make eye contact because it just seemed a little bit creepy. And I kept washing my hands, and they'd been underwater for so long that they were beginning to wrinkle. So I stopped, and then an arm reached across in front of me to offer a paper towel. And I turned to my left, and it was a custodian. And he said, respect everyone. I saw the speech. Have a blessed day. Thank you, but that applause just ran us over time. I'm sorry about that. I honestly do not remember what I said to that man that day. I hope I said the right words. I don't remember. What I do remember is this. I headed to my next flight with tears in my eyes because I knew I am not the respect person. I am not that good. I can never be that good. And that was a few years ago. And I'm no better now than I was then, but I've learned a few things. And I know this. And I want you to know it too. We can keep trying, can't we? We can keep trying. With the grace of God, we must keep trying. Individually and collectively, we can't give up on that. I don't know what that custodian in the Atlanta airport was seeking, but I think it was basic human decency, something lived out, not a slogan, not just rhetoric, something infinitely more authentic than that. And that's what we all need, right? It's what we all need. Respect, offered, and received. So Houghton graduates, you are equipped in remarkable ways to fulfill the promise of offering respect. Do it, please. Respect everyone. And may the road rise up to meet you, and may the wind be always at your back, and may the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you, and congratulations.